And my guest this morning is a beautiful lady by name Carmen. Carmen, she actually is the assistant project leader of Construct SAT-OS. And Carmen graduated in a master's degree in culture, organization, and management, which she completed with a field study in Accra, Ghana. And later, she completed another master's degree in social and cultural anthropology,
Wow.
during which she carried out a field research in London among second-generation West Africans and also something to do with the creation of their identity. In her daily work here, she is trying to help Africans and other inhabitants of Southeast Amsterdam with their struggles and their questions. During her studies, she has gained a lot of knowledge on African culture habits, which has been very useful for her work. She understands that as an African living in a Western European country like the Netherlands is not always easy. In the program of today, we would like to discuss the issue of fatherhood, which receives rather little attention. I would like to welcome Miss Carmen this morning to Radio Voice of Naija. Say hello to Radio Voice of Naija.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for listening, I have to say. And I'm very pleased to be here, of course, to be a guest on this radio show and to announce the whole project or platform we launching on fatherhood.
Yes. But before that, just quickly, tell our listeners what led you to do your academic specialization in social and cultural anthropology with special emphasis on West African migrants living in Europe.
I fell in love some way during my life. I traveled when I was, I think, 19. I traveled to London to my last year I was studying hotel management before that. And when I was living in London, I was living on a campus with people from all over the world. I'm not born and bred in Amsterdam. I'm born and bred in this boring Dutch village on the German border. So I was introduced... No. German border. It's to the east. Aalten.
Okay.
Which is like you're with one leg in Germany, one leg in Holland. But when I moved to London, I got introduced to all these lovely cultures from people from all over the world, and somehow I got interested by the African culture, mainly West African culture, because I was having friends from different countries, from Cote d'Ivoire, from Senegal, Nigeria, Ghana. So I thought, like, hey, this is interesting. And I remember as a young girl, I was thinking, like, oh, when I grow older, I would like to travel to Africa because the people and the dance and the music, it just interested me. So when I was there, I thought like, okay, I was 20 or 21 and I was graduating. I thought, okay, I can work now. I'm still young, but why not pursue a master's degree in some studies? And then I found the studies at the VU here in Amsterdam that I could do like a field trip with of 3 or 4 months to any country I liked. So then I thought like, hey, let me go to Ghana. Why not?
Okay. Well, I won't be surprised if you get married to a Ghanaian or Nigerian because you love Africa anyway. But tell us, what was some of the main conclusions you gathered from your study about, the West Africans or Africans living in Europe?
There was the second studies. I was reading lots of newspapers and in the news, and there were discussions about that second generation West Africans were struggling in the Western or European societies because they are with one leg in the country of residence and the other leg is of the country of heritage, which is some African country.
Yeah.
In Holland, there's lots of discussions about Moroccans lately. In other countries, there's other groups, and I was wondering, like, okay, we can talk about people, but why not ask the people themselves and give them a voice? So I went to, because I was already working here in Southeast, I deal with lots of first generation Nigerians, Ghanaians, and I thought if I go to England, where the populations are bigger and the migration history is longer, I can speak to second generation migrants of Ghanaian or Nigerian background and see how they feel, if they feel stuck in those two countries or how they create their identity, and whether it's true that they indeed are struggling or finding it difficult to have English and West African
identity.
Yeah.
So what did you find out when you did this research?
It's rubbish. I think people who migrate in general, and the ones I talked to, they say that they feel rich because they can adapt to two different situations. They can use the Nigerian, Ghanaian, Senegalese or whatever background in situation, but they can also pick their English ways of doing. So instead of finding it difficult, I think they have something extra than people who didn't migrate, because you can choose, you can pick a mix. You can use your language, your food, your customs in such situations, while you know how the general people deal in England, so you can also use that because you know both worlds.
Okay, so then that's not minus, but it's a plus.
Yeah,
for the migrants. Okay, now that's good to know. Now, in your work at CanStrikeSat also, what have you discovered about the special needs or problems of African migrants living here? Because that is an issue you are focused on in your work. What are the issues or special needs you have come up with or come to find out?
Well, first of all, I think we all know that Europe, in this case Holland, is a country with lots of rules and regulations and paperwork and everything.
Yeah.
And if you come from a West African country, I think that's a big difference. So first of all, you have to get used to that, and you have to discover those rules yourself. They're not going to tell you like, oh, you can do this or you have to do this. You'll have to discover it yourself.
Yeah.
And language, of course, is a challenge because the Dutch language is not the easiest language in the world. And then,
well, that's what they say, but I don't know if that's true.
Well, I used to have a Ghanaian manager, and he was in Holland for 20 years, Mr. Adusa, and he was correcting my Dutch. And I'm born and bred here, so I do believe the language is not that easy. So it's a struggle for some.
All right.
For me as well. But yeah, I see that many people don't know the way to certain institutions. They don't know how to go about certain problems, questions, because they have to figure it out themselves. And like I said, Holland is very complex. Even me, before I was doing this work, I didn't know that there was something, an organization you could go to with your debt, so that there was like a social wealth organization that you can ask your questions to, that there are people that help you filling in your papers if you don't know how to fill them in. So throughout the work I got to know all these things, and I think many people are struggling with those things.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, currently you are working on a project related to fatherhood.
Yes.
Now, what is the issue with this topic? And can you tell our listeners what your main findings are regarding fatherhood issue?
Well, I think we all know that lately many people divorce and split up. People have children. And what we see here in Southeast amongst the people we speak to is that many children are therefore raised in the single parent family, which is often led by the mother.
Yes.
If you look at different groups, there are different reasons why it's the mother at the head of the household.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to remember, we think it's important to remember that a child needs a father somehow.
Yeah.
And if we talk to the people we speak to, we see that the father is not always there for several reasons. Maybe he doesn't want to, maybe the mother does not allow him, maybe he wants to but he doesn't know how.
Yeah.
So we find it an interesting topic, because what we should remember is that the absence of a father or a father figure has influence to the child, the childhood.
Yes.
Therefore we launched this, and the Stad still asked us to do it together with other parties. High Five is doing a part, Checkpoint, which focuses on youth, does a part. And probably you've seen the billboards throughout the city already. I was just coming with a metro and I saw a big billboard of DAD, Dad. We also Dad is the campaign called.
Okay.
So just to raise awareness and to allow people to discuss it again and think of it like, okay, how am I doing it, and why are we doing it, how we are doing it, is it the right way what we are doing, and so forth.
I agree with you that the impact of a father or the presence of a father in the life of a child is very crucial. But in what way have you discovered? Let me see who's coming. Good morning. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss. Go ahead.
Am I on air?
You're on air right now.
Okay. Greetings there.
Greetings. Yes.
I thank you for this topic.
Uh-huh.
I want to ask something before I leave.
Go ahead.
And please, can you give me that answer if you know?
Okay, sure.
I heard if a father is upset after the baby is born,
Yeah.
and the first 3 months, it doesn't show his face or sign some paper or things like that.
Yeah.
Recognize mother can decide to leave it like that. But after a while, you have to ask kinderbijslag, they call it.
Yeah.
And then you have to fill form with all kinds of questions. And if you put the name of the father, then you can get other problems. Is it true? Can you explain that if you know it? Because when you stay away the first 3 months, half a year, you cannot
Acknowledge.
You can hasten.
Yeah.
Because if that's the truth, after the 3 months, then if you come after a year to come and complain or X things without the lawyer and the judge, then I think you don't have after that a vote on that. Is it true or isn't it? I'm listening. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Carmen, over to you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Unfortunately, I don't know the answer. I'm not an expert. But it's a nice lead to what I'm here for actually is we have set up meetings, 2. One in Dutch is this coming Thursday, which is the 27th of June, and one in English the week after, the 4th of July, to discuss those subjects. Because what I've heard is something similar, but then from the male point of view, if you don't recognize your child at birth and if you don't get yourself involved at an early stage, it's very hard for you as a man to claim any rights. And it's a very complicated process. I don't know it by heart, but I've been hearing guys who fought for their rights on these subjects. So what we'd like to, I really like this question because those are questions people deal with and we hear them.
Okay.
I'm not an expert, like I said, so we ask the experts to come to those meetings.
Okay.
We ask people who work for different organizations, fathers who stood up for their rights and who went through the whole process with the whole complicated laws and everything, to come to those meetings, the one in Dutch and the one in English, to inform the people with these questions.
Yeah. Well, it's really nice to take that up because there are many reasons why some of the people of migrant origin get into this kind of situation, whereby sometimes they are not there, they cannot officially acknowledge the children that have been born to them. And later on they want to, but they realize that they can't do that. So do your best, take this further and see if you can get some answers to this. Hopefully it comes up as some of the issues to be discussed during this campaign.
Definitely,
Before the call, I was, there are, with the children whose fathers have not been involved in their lives, what have you noticed as the dominant problem or issue in their lives, and for which reason you are doing this campaign about fatherhood?
I think it differs. If you look at the people that are living in Southeast, people have different backgrounds, and one of the reasons might be cultural. One of the reasons might be the system. For example, I know for many men it's interesting for women as well that as a woman you'll get all the extra benefits, the financial benefits that comes with the fact of having a child. As a man, you don't have them as easily, and therefore maybe it is more likely that if parents split up or whatsoever, that the woman will get everything. Wow. But it might also be culture, because if you look at history in some cultures, women have been raising children, therefore it just continues the way it is. While the Dutch society says, and researchers have been shown that it's better to have a father and a mother together or not. So several reasons. Like if I look at my own situation, my parents got divorced, my mom left and I stayed with my dad because she had her own reasons for leaving. So I find it difficult to speak for other people, but what we see is that it's the system who allows, who makes it complex for many situations. There are cultural reasons, and again I think it's nature maybe as well, because if you look at the whole process of growing a baby, the mother grows the baby in the stomach, so it's very complex, and I think every individual has his or her own reasons.
Yeah. But my question, let me answer the question is, what have you noticed in the life of these kids which is prompting this project on fatherhood to deal with the issue. What have you noticed? Is it their performance at school? Is it their social skills? What are the issues that are calling for attention or solution? And for that reason, we want to make sure that we find a way of bringing the fathers back into the picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was focusing on the parents and on the children. Sorry.
Yeah.
Researchers have shown, there are different researches, but it does influence the behavior of a child. It can influence the behavior of a child concerning relationships with men or women, because if your father has been absent, children need examples of good practices. So if your father has never been there, or your mother didn't have any father figure around, then how are you as a boy or young girl are going to deal with that subject? Or social skills as well, because it hurts. One way or the other, it hurts if your father or mother is not around you. So as a child, it's very likely that it will have its effects on any sort of outcoming. Social skills, you don't know how to, because you're frustrated, like you have one of your parents there, but he or she doesn't want to have any contact with you. That's what you think, or that's what you've been told, or that's what you've been experiencing. So, yeah, with some children, school dropouts is if you look at I think a research showed that the most school dropouts are children who are raised in a single parent family. Those statistics, in general, children have, I'm not saying one thing leads to the other, but the cause of being the chance of being a school dropout might be bigger.
Yes.
The chance of having difficulties finding a relationship at an older age with a man or woman might be more complex. So these things, for example.
So in other words, what you are trying to say to those who are listening to you is that people from children who do not have their fathers with them suffer rejection.
Yeah.
They have rejection.
Yeah.
Some of them can be very aggressive.
Yeah.
And some of them can be very fearful when it comes to relationship.
Yeah.
They don't know how to deal with people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so then in line with what we have just said, what are the plans Council has towards dealing with the fatherhood problem in the coming weeks? So now take us into the things you're doing, the planning you do, the campaign, whatever. Take us into that.
Okay, our part of the whole campaign is to launch a platform where people can ask their questions and get the information they need. The lady who called in, I would like to invite her to come to one of the meetings to ask her questions, because Kansrijk speaks to 1,000 people on a yearly basis throughout Southeast, and we hear all these questions, but we are not the experts. So we try to create a platform where the people with the questions and the people who need the information can come, and where the experts can provide them the information needed. So like I said, we have one this coming Thursday and one the week after. That one will be in English on the 4th of July. Meetings in the CEC building, which is on the Belmedreef opposite Ganshoef metro station, from 5 till 7 p.m. We'll have it very informal. We'll have food, we have drinks, we have some little entertainment just to get a nice and cozy and relaxed atmosphere where people feel comfortable to get all the information they need and to ask any questions they have. After that, Kansrijk will be there like we already are, or we're trying to be, for just everybody who has a question about any topic. So these 2 meetings, and there will be 2 others after summer holidays focused on, one will be in Spanish for the Spanish-speaking people in Southeast, one is for the youngsters, because there are many early teenage parents, young girls who get a baby with a young boy, and how do they go about it. But the first 2, I think, are most interesting for the listeners here. One in Dutch this coming Thursday, and one in English the week after. Both 5 till 7 p.m. in the CC building.
Okay. Now, the one on the 4th of July is the one in English.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Now, the experts who are coming to this program, who are they? What kind of experts are we to expect in this meeting?
I've asked 2 students who are graduating from transcultural studies who did their research on fatherhood. So they know, because they've been talking to different people, they've been doing the research, what it does to a child who did not have a good contact with his or her father during their childhood.
Yeah.
One is a man from Utrecht, a Dutch guy, Peter Trom, who has a father-kind center, a father-child center. He is a father who stands up for his right, who fought the whole fight to get the custody over the rights over the child. Yeah. One is Jens van Tricht, also Dutchman here in Amsterdam. He is talking about man emancipation. Because there are many men who are not involved, but maybe the man doesn't know how to. He doesn't know what his rights are. He wants to, but he just needs some tools to get the power back. So different insights. And there are people from VIA, which is Father Initiatives Amsterdam. And they have been doing much research in Amsterdam Southeast as well. They'll be present. And what we like to do is we like to give them the floor so they can present some findings, some of their expertise,
Yes.
but also to make statements so that people in the audience can give their thoughts on the statements, the expert give their thoughts, so that we have like a whole discussion, a whole conversation going.
Well, I want to ask a question. The whole program, is it geared to finding a solution, or is it just to talk about the issue? Because to me, talking about the issue it shouldn't be very relevant as to finding a solution.
I think if there was one solution, I would like to have a solution, but
Yeah.
I think we're all individuals and every situation is different. So I don't believe personally that there's one solution to the problem, as far as we can call it a problem. But talking about it already opens doors to a solution or to different solutions.
Mhm.
What I think is that many people live in a certain situation because they don't know the consequences, they don't know the right information, they don't know what it does to their children and what it does to them.
Mhm.
And therefore giving them information they need hopefully leads to a fitted solution for that particular family or situation. Because I can say, oh, two parents should live together and
Yeah.
bring up a child together, but if it doesn't work out, the two parents, if they're fighting all the time, then it has an influence to the child as well. So I think
Yeah.
every situation needs different solutions.
Wow.
Okay. Well, if I just repeat this, recap this thing, the CAN strike is organizing a series of programs on fatherhood, and they want the community to be aware and to get involved. Coming up this Thursday, there's a program in Dutch where experts are coming together and they're going to give some information about fatherhood issues, and people are going to give their perspective, their experiences on the impact of father's involvement in the child and issues which have come up dealing with fatherhood. Some people who may have had difficulties maybe giving recognition to their children or whatever may have happened. So they're going to deal with all these issues so that you have a chance to be there to ask questions and to clear certain things and know some of your rights on how to deal with any fatherhood issue at all you may have encountered in Holland. And then on the 4th of July, is that a Tuesday? Or
No, it's a Thursday. So
it's a Thursday.
Next Thursday.
A Thursday. On the 4th of July, that's in 2 weeks' time, there will be another forum, this time in English, for English speakers.
Yeah.
And we are again, it's open again to all people to come and also get information and get to know how they can deal with issues pertaining to fatherhood. And we understand that sometimes fathers may have been separated from their spouses and therefore may not have had access to their children the way they would have liked to. Now, some of these issues have caused pain in the heart of people, and so this will be an opportunity to ask questions and to know how the law can help you redress some of these issues. And so that's the purpose and the focus of this forum, which Council is organizing, focus specifically on fatherhood, so that the people can solve some problems and get some healing or express their frustrations or whatsoever they may have gone through. So this is the focus of this program, and we want you all who are out there listening to know. And please pass on the message to others who who are not listening right now, that this program is coming up, if you're English speaking, on the 4th of July from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the CSA building at Hansenhof. You are most welcome to the Fatherhood Forum. Let me call it the Fatherhood Forum.
Yeah.
Where you can talk about fatherhood issues. You know, if you're a good father and you've done it very well, you got it all together, then we want you also to come to share your story so that others who have had struggles can learn from you. And if you have issues with your fatherhood, lifestyle, you also have an opportunity to say what went wrong and perhaps learn how you can fix it. So I think it's a very important forum for us who are here. If you are an African or West African, you're a migrant, this is an opportunity for you to take this provision which has been made so that you can empower yourself. Did I say it correctly?
Perfectly. I'd like to focus on one thing. It's fatherhood, but the women are welcome as well.
Okay.
Because fatherhood focuses, of course, on men.
Yeah.
But then I think fatherhood is something that exists between men and women.
Yes.
Because the women, the mother, has a role in it as well.
Yeah.
And I think children, 18 plus, should come as well, because maybe they are raised in a single parent family and they have their questions, their pains, they need information, so they can get it as well. So even though the subject is fatherhood,
Yes.
everybody's welcome.
Ladies are welcome too.
Ladies are welcome too.
So it's not a male affair, not a macho thing.
No. Everybody's welcome. Always.
But the one of the Dutch, can the non-Dutch come?
Oh, of course. Everybody's welcome anytime.
Okay.
But we organize different ones for different people, because what I realized is if I'm going to sit at a Spanish meeting, I understand bits and pieces, but I cannot fully participate.
Everything,
and I cannot ask my questions. So therefore we split it up. One in English, one in Dutch. Everybody's comfortable. Come to whichever one you like to come. If you want to come to the Dutch one, feel free. If you want to come to both, feel free. Be my guest. We'll have food, we have drinks.
Yes.
So we have some entertainment. So I believe it's going to be a nice and comfortable and interesting gathering.
Okay. And starting from this Thursday,
Yes.
what's the date of this Thursday?
27.
27, yeah.
Okay. So at the CEC building from 5 o'clock to
Yes.
7 p.m. We want to welcome you. But let's take a short break and then we'll come back. In the meantime, please give us a call on 0207371619. Miss Carmen hognelst is here to answer your question.